home vegetable garden. It's much easier than you think, whether you're just starting out or you want to improve. First off, you don't have to get extravagant. Almost anything can start a garden, but there's a few things we want to look at before we get going. The easiest way I know to start a garden is just to start laying down mulch. If you have leaves, if you can get a wood chip drop. I ran into some arborists trimming trees for the power company. Good mixture of hardwoods, leaves. They cut all this when it was green. Now we're using it as mulch. There's also hay and cow manure. If you've got neighbors feeding hay to their cows, that might be a really good source. But then again, it might just destroy all your efforts. As I discovered deep mulch gardening, I discovered Ruth Stout, which was all about hay. And I really like using hay in the mulch. But the thing about hay, right now in 2024, lots of fields are being sprayed with this persistent herbicide. It goes through the animal into their manure. It makes what used to be one of the best mulches pretty dangerous for your garden. So unless you know the source of your hay, be very, very careful. You would hate to lose all your work just because you got some free hay. And I know I've said the hardest work you're going to do in the garden is harvest. But I didn't do this in the garden. I had to rake these up anyhow. And instead of setting them on the curb, let's take them out to the garden, show you what we're going to do with them. Yesterday we pulled the plastic out and we kind of set this up. And we had enough leaves to keep everything up off the ground. Probably not the best for all the insulating properties you can get. That's why I went and got some more bags of leaves. Now with them all touching, we've got a nice ring. The ground will stay warm. We'll pull that plastic back. On the back side, just like we had it tucked under, I've got the bag sitting on the plastic, which will hold that in place, and then we'll use the mulch to hold the ends down like we did yesterday. I'm going to put a bucket right in the middle to keep snow from pushing down on the plants inside the cold frame. I know, I said be careful with the hay. Come here and take a look at this. If you know the field your hay's coming off of, and the person baling it, and there's little trees in your hay bale, I'm very confident this has not been sprayed with anything. And if you look right here, we've got clover, which I like as a cover crop. Helps put nitrogen in the ground. It also keeps the life in the soil going. Doesn't hurt my plants at all. Doesn't interfere with them growing. And we've got hay over here, and if this had the perpetual herbicide in it, this clover would have died out. And I know there's folks out there going, what does he know about gardening? Well, I'm Waylon Smalley, PhD. That's post hole digger to you. I've been doing this a very long time. I've been getting my hands dirty for 50 years. I worked really, really hard when I was a kid. I remember the fights with Grandpa and my dad. I'm not eating this stuff anymore if I got to do this kind of work. I rebelled. I would never tell another adult how to garden. I mean, it's January 7 in Zone 7. Check this out. I know, I said I'd talk about how to start a garden or improve a garden. This is all part of it. You don't have to make it complicated. To start a garden, all you have to do is lay in that organic material 4 inches thicker. Give it a little time. Then when you're ready to plant, you pull that mulch back down to bare soil, you plant as normal, then you mulch back. If you've got an existing garden, bring in the mulch heavy. You're going to improve your soil. We're in the middle of winter. I got bags of leaves. The way you start a garden is you put leaves down as a mulch. Now's a good time to do that. Right here, we're going to start with leaves. And how do you do that? Just like that. Just dump them out. You don't need a shovel, you don't need to turn this soil, you don't need a rototiller, you don't need to till this up. You just spread the leaves out. But it's also a good time, once you've got your garden established, to protect your garden into the winter months. Because I definitely like eating fresh salad right out of the garden. The Swiss chard isn't too bad either. Now, if you're going to start a garden, You can get a rototiller, you can till it up, you can make rows, you can plant seeds. You can buy fertilizer, and that's the hardest way there is to garden. Or you can just come on out, put down organic matter 4 inches thicker, and let nature take its course. I mean, you do want to know where your first frost date is and your last frost date is if you've never gardened before. Right now, I couldn't grow tomatoes to save my life. But carrots do very well. And has anybody ever said you can't have enough beets or spinach or cilantro? Oh, wait, some more carrots. And cabbages. And broccoli. It is the middle of winter and you're probably thinking, I don't want to start my garden now. But now's the perfect time to start your garden. You have your area, you put your organics down, and in 60 days from now, you'll be ready to plant. Check out what it's going to look like underneath that organic. Now this is wood chips, and it's 4 inches or better. When you plant in a garden, whether it's an existing garden that you put more mulch on, or it's a brand new garden, you're going to pull your organic matter, whatever it is, whether it's straw, mixture, hay, leaves, you're going to pull it all back. You're going to pull that back down to bare soil. Then you either go ahead and you plant your starts or you plant your seeds. If you plant your starts, then you just mulch back in around it, and as they grow, you continue to mulch back. Just like that. If you're putting seeds in, you don't do anything except water. You wait as soon as those seeds start growing, then you start mulching back. And it really is just that easy. And here's a big secret. It really is just that easy. I can tell you why it works. The earth is made up of rock. Rock breaks down into different sized particles, sand, silt, and clay. Has all the minerals your plants are ever going to need. The minerals are locked up in those rocks, so they need life. They need bacteria and fungus. Works together with the plants to break those minerals apart, make them plant soluble, and that's what feeds your plants. The mulch just keeps the ground covered, retains moisture, allows an environment for that life to thrive. When that life thrives, you put a seed or a plant in the ground, those roots and that life, they start working together, and that's what happens. If you till it in, you're going to cause yourself problems you don't want to have. I can't grow a thing, but I can create the environment that the things will grow in, and when you give them the right environment, you see what they do. You can have a bumper harvest. It's really that easy. When you create the environment of healthy soil, it creates a healthier plant. When you got a healthier plant, it protects itself better from pests. We do have some nasty pests in America. You're probably still going to have to do a little something about that. We do a little mitigation for bugs, but it's all organic, and I'm trying to do less and less of that every year. And the better our soil gets, the healthier our plants are. For me, the bottom line is use what you got and let nature help you. Flower where you root. Most everything in here is volunteer. Cut and drop, deep mulch, change your world. Till next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.